This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out of It. Welcome back, everyone. That's right.
What time it is?
We're back. They Mostly Come Out at Night. Your favorite bad movie review podcast is back.
Podcast.
The best to ever do it. Yep.
The best to ever do it.
Yep. Don't look at the stats because you'll see that it's very
the stats
skewed.
are for us.
Yeah. They lie. They lie. We're number one.
Yeah.
In our hearts.
Yeah.
Hopefully in yours too. No, thank you guys so much for listening. If you do have a chance and you want to, really helps out the podcast. Go like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you like us, share us with your friends. Say, hey, I know two dudes that just hang out, watch movies, and then review them. They're really cool.
Also, if you have suggestions or recommendations, please send those in.
Yes, we do one every 5 episodes, so please get those in when you can. Really helps us out. We appreciate all of you so much. And is that the business?
I think that's the business.
That's the business. Wow. This movie...
We got a winner.
Holy shit.
We got another winner.
Yeah, this movie rips. It's really cool.
I really love this movie.
Yeah.
Sometimes you watch a movie and it's just everything about it kind of appeals to you. And
yeah, I mean, like it's a pretty simple movie. There's not like a lot of like big plot details, like because it basically just follows one.
It's a ghost story.
It's a ghost story. That's all you need, and it's really good. It's really well done. It's filmed on location in an actual prison.
The movie is called Prison, by the way.
Yeah, it's Prison. We watched this through Means, but I think you can find it.
This movie is kind of I don't know why.
Is it hard to find?
For some reason. I think you can. I think there's a version of this on YouTube. So I would highly recommend watching this. Yeah. If you can. But yeah, we watched it through Means, and.
Yeah, it's really cool. If you have a chance to watch it, I would watch it. This is one of those movies I would watch before, just so you don't get anything spoiled. Not that there's like a ton to spoil, because it's pretty like bare. It's a pretty like surface level, but like basic, because it's just a ghost story. I mean, it's just a haunted prison.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the entire story. So it's not like there's a big like twist at the end or anything like that. There is a little bit of a twist. There is a twist, but it's not like
you have to have a reason for the ghost shenanigans.
Right, but it's not like mind-melting, like it's not going to change your entire worldview. It's so big, right?
Yeah, it's not like, I don't know. I can't think of any famous
like,
twists.
If you're a gamer, like the twist in BioShock. If you played BioShock for the first time, the would you kindly twist.
Yes.
That literally like altered my mind for a moment.
Or, we're in 1987, so it's not like the ending of Angel Heart.
Yeah, like that kind of twist.
But it is very, for a ghost story, it's exactly what I wanted.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I would 100% agree with that sentiment. Let's get into it.
Okay.
So we start with
a prisoner,
and
it's all filmed like POV.
Yeah, and it's a lot of like long single takes, and he's getting led down like the corridor, and
you see him. He sticks his hands up. They put on the handcuffs. He leads down this corridor,
and he like at a certain point you get to like the like a chamber, and you hear a priest giving a prayer. So you can put it all together. This guy is being executed, being electrically executed, and so he goes into the chamber, and they sit him down. And,
this guy who they keep he's like the focal point almost. He leans in and you see him rip off a necklace with a cross on it. He just like rips it off of him, which will show up plenty of times.
Then they put the mask on him. They, set him all like strap him in and everything. And then they electrocute him. And then
you see like as they're electrocuting him, like his skin's bulging.
Well, yeah, you can see he's in a lot of pain.
Fucking lightning, and it's super metal. And then this guy wakes up. He's like choking, and it's the guy who in that scene stole his like cross necklace.
He was a guard at the time, or maybe the warden. I'm not sure,
He's
but
the warden.
He becomes the warden for a new prison as well. But Yeah, so he wakes up choking and he like can't breathe, and then he gets a call.
Yeah.
And so we don't know what the call's about yet.
But there's this big meeting with like a bunch of politicians.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how all these prisons are overcrowded. And
I think she's a prison psychologist, right? The woman, because we get introduced to her, and she's like a prison psychologist, but she doesn't like the way most prisons are ran.
Because she's basically saying like, you need to, like you have to think about this more humanely. And they're saying like, well, it's an election year. All people care about is like, we just need them put away.
Right. Well, and like basically the corpos are like, fuck them.
Fuck them.
They're all like
all trash.
They're all prisoners. They're terrible people. They deserve to be there. Who cares what happens to them?
And she's like, okay, so what are you gonna do about like all these the fact that it's overcrowded? Well, we're gonna reopen the old penitentiary.
And she's like, that's a terrible idea. It's like run down.
It's run down. It's not in any condition of work. And not only that, they're like, and we're appointing this guy to be the warden. And she's like, him?
And he has like a reputation for being like
outdated.
Outdated and very aggressive.
The term she uses is like chain gangs and Tommy guns.
Yeah.
He's very much that.
Because I guess he was like retired or something. But she goes to the penitentiary that they're going to, and it's like this just decrepit old prison.
And she talks to him, and he kind of, you can tell he doesn't really think highly of what she does.
He doesn't respect her at all. And, you get this feeling they're going to be at odds the entire time. And he doesn't care. He's like, whatever. Yeah. So they're bringing in all the prisoners.
Everyone shows up.
Yeah, the buses all come in, and, everyone's walking off. And then I saved this for this moment. I did not realize
who was in this,
that the main character essentially in the entire movie was none other than Viggo Mortensen. Holy God.
You see, for those who don't know, one of Will's all-time favorite anything is Lord of the Rings.
I fucking love Lord of the Rings so much.
Plus, Viggo Mortensen is just an awesome actor.
Well, Viggo Mortensen is literally one of my favorite actors, not just because of Lord of the Rings. I think he's been in some really good, like
he's good in everything.
Like Eastern Promises is
History of Violence,
incredible. History of Violence is so good. This is good. Like he's been in so many good movies, and I am a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Return of the King is honestly my favorite. I know it's cliche to say that at this point, but whatever. But I didn't know. I didn't realize he was in it, so I was really excited because I like when I see him in these kind of roles. And he's
good in everything. He's good in any movie.
Well, you can tell this is like kind of I think it's like maybe one of his like really early roles.
He's not even top billed, which is crazy. But yeah, it is a very early
because he's young. He is young in this, and yeah, they'd all get. So anyway, sorry, I had to gush about Viggo Mortensen for a minute. And you see him shirtless in this a lot, so that's
There's
cool.
a lot of shirtless men in this movie.
That's cool too.
They did. They gave certain people something.
Yeah, exactly. If you're into dudes, shirtless
they knew what they were doing.
You will get plenty of enjoyment. You'll get plenty of enjoyment out of this one. So they're all getting out of the they're all getting out of the buses, and they're all about to get off, and two of the prisoners,
specifically one,
he like rushes a guard and like
knocks him off the bus
and closes the door and tries to drive out,
while the other one's like, what are you doing, like you're gonna get me in trouble.
And so he's like driving like a maniac, and he's trying to like drive towards the exit, but they have like this big iron door that they can close.
Shut it.
And this is foreshadowing, but like they're like, you have to crank the wheel to close this big iron door. So he like drives around a bunch and then stops in front of the warden, and the warden is like tough as nails because he stands right in front of the bus and just throws his jacket at the bus. And he's like, you can either walk off the bus or crawl off the bus. Your choice. And
so they go, and he tells them, okay, because of these two,
it's six.
None of you get no visitation
and no letters
for 6 months. And then he also puts them, I don't remember for how long, but he sends them to solitary confinement.
Yeah, which solitary confinement, because it's a defunct like penitentiary, it's like flooded.
A fucking swamp.
It's like flooded, and there's these like two like little iron holding cells.
It looks like a fucking nightmare.
And so they throw them in there, like just they don't strip them down or anything. They just throw them in there.
Another thing is also foreshadowing is a lot of people kind of look at Viggo Mortensen in like a
particularly the warden.
Yeah, like he looks familiar.
Yeah,
but the warden also there's an older black guy prisoner.
Yeah,
and the warden also looks at him too, and that will come into play big time at the end.
Yeah, exactly. So, next scene is they're like getting all, processed, stripped down. We see them like they're taking away like contraband and stuff. Now, this is a pretty like loose prison because a lot of them were wearing like chains and like their own clothes and shit like that. So, that's it's whatever. It's whatever.
It's not maximum security.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So they get processed, and Viggo Mortensen grabs like a poster for a guy that they like tried to take away because something distracts them, like a fight.
I do like the whole setup to this because you don't see what the hell the poster is, and in your head you're thinking like, oh, it's like a naked woman.
Well, yeah, you think it's like a centerfold.
Yeah.
And well, I love because it's like just little character moments, right? This is like what like builds the immersion, right? It doesn't really go anywhere. He just like he's gonna help a guy, and this is how this guy and Viggo Mortensen's character become friends, and like throughout the entire movie continue that friendship.
Well, plus, and again, simple writing, right? Because it also sets up that Viggo Mortensen is a good person. That he's willing to do a good deed for somebody else.
Because he gives the guy the poster. It's a poster of Rambo. Rambo First Blood.
It's great.
As he's talking to, like, they all get like assigned their cells, and they're talking to their cellmates, and like Viggo Mortensen's cellmate is an older man that's been in the prison system for like ever.
He's addicted. He drinks like cleaning fluid.
Yeah.
Because he's lost it.
Yeah.
And he's like shaking as he pours it, and then he pours it for him. But he tells him like, hey, like he recounts like all the prisons he's been in. And he tells Viggo Mortensen like, hey, like whatever happens, like make sure this is it for you. We
also get introduced to a very spiritual man. He has like this shrine to this god that he prays to, and a bunch of like prayer necklaces on him. And he'll come into play later, but you can tell he's a very, very religious person.
He's also he's one of the first people who starts feeling the bad vibes.
Yeah,
in there,
the bad energy.
There's also this this, and again, it's just it's in there for kind of like flavor, and there is a bit of a payoff because this guy gets fucked up. But there's like a young prisoner, and like he gets paired with like this burly older prisoner who makes him his prison bitch, basically.
Yeah, and the burly guy kind of somewhat takes the role of like controlling the other prisoners. Yeah, like he's the one that pays off the guards to do certain things.
He mentions he has like an illegal like like a card.
Yeah, at a certain point he tries to get Viggo Mortensen to like
go along with
him and everything. I mean, it's just like all flavor, right? Yeah. This has like very little to do with the actual plot, but it's like we get motivations, we get
characters,
like their backgrounds, like who they are, what they're doing there, kind of thing. And so then in the holding cell, I think I might. Is there anything between then? Am I jumping ahead too soon?
Were you going to talk about the barbecue?
Yeah.
So before that, because remember they release it from the wall.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah, you're right, because we got to get that set up.
Because it's like it's been the first night, and one of the guards is talking to the warden, and he's like, "Oh, it's peaceful," and the warden's like, "Oh,
it's peaceful for now." Like
the first days are always peaceful because they haven't made their cliques yet.
No one's formed cliques. No one's like done anything bad yet. And so
next day it's work.
Yeah, so they're getting handed their pickaxes. The burly guy doesn't want to do any work, so he pays off one of the guards to get him on water duty.
So just hand out water.
Yeah, to get water duty, and his little prison bitch can go like do water duty too.
Like, it's like a mini, what the fuck is it, like a mini ghetto blaster?
Yeah, like a radio.
Yeah, and but Viggo Mortensen and the spiritual gentleman.
He's like, hey, you guys are with me. Like, the warden has a special job for you too.
So they go down to this like fucking decrepit room, and there's like a doorway that's sealed off.
Yeah.
And it's the execution chamber, and they tell them the warden wants this opened again.
Like, we want to get in there to get to the execution chamber.
For what? You don't know, but presumably in your head you can think he wants to start fucking doing executions again.
So they start like chipping away at it, and you know, like little by little they get it down more and more. And I think we also get like scenes of the I can't remember what it intersects it with, but like
I know they interject it with some other stuff,
because
but
it's like other goings on in the
Yeah.
prison, like people talking and stuff like that. And the warden, so we get introduced to like one of the like the guards, the like the right hand man of the warden, because the warden has another like fucked up dream and points a gun at him, and is like I'll kill you, and he's like
in the dream he's like looking at a dead body in a morgue,
and
he again looks at that same cross that he stole from him in the beginning, and then he turns around and the fucking guy's like hands, they look like burned. Start like choking him.
Yeah. So he wakes up. He tries to. He like points the gun at the main guard, and
just like kind of like calm down, like no big deal.
And then it jumps back to them working on the door, and they're finally like almost through it, and like Vigo's character, I can't remember his name.
Burke. Fisher's Burke.
Burke.
Yeah.
Burke breaks through the perimeter.
Well, it gets stuck.
Yeah, and he tries to pull it out, and then he finally pulls it out, and there's like a beam of light.
Big
blue beam, 80s beam of light.
And
right through the door.
Right there, they do the whoosh sound effect, and everyone's like, and he looks in, and it like blinds him.
Yeah, and then he digs more, and as he digs more, the hole gets bigger and bigger, and then he starts, once it's big enough for him to fit
everything goes ballistic.
He starts getting sucked through the hole.
While the furnace lights up, all the fucking pipes in the prison start going ballistic. They released something.
Well, yeah, and like the spiritual guy and one of the guards is trying to pull him back, and like he's like getting sucked through, and you can see the execution chamber open, and it's like all like electrocute-y.
After they pull him through, they like look through, and they have like. It's like the floor is like these grates.
And it's lights coming like
towards them. And then you see like a POV shot and just something like launches past them. And, you know what it is. It's a fucking ghost.
Well, the one religious guy like is like, I shook hands with him and his hand's all bleeding.
And Burke's like, no, he's like, I shook hands with something. He's like, yeah, it was me. He's like, no.
It was something else. Like something's wrong here.
Something's out.
Yeah.
And then you see the two guys in solitary.
Yep. Oh, and then one of them has cigarettes and
because one of them's like saying like, man, I really need a cigarette. He's like, oh, I got you, and he has like 20 cigarettes in his socks.
He's like, I'm gonna enjoy this, and the guy's like, hey, fuck you, I need a cigarette.
He's like, oh, it's so good, and he lights a match. Everything seems fine, and then you see like a POV coming towards and
it comes towards the door, and then all of a sudden, the
like little hole, peephole or whatever, opens up,
and it starts burning him with the light.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, turn it off."
And he tries to go over and shut it, and his hands it's the door's so cold, his hands
so hot.
Well, no, because at first it's cold or whatever, and then it heats up.
Okay.
Because it freezes, and then his skin peels off because he touches the door and pulls them away, and then everything starts heating up. The door, I don't know how they did this effect, but it's really cool. The door gets red, glowing red.
When you turn when you turn a stovetop to the highest setting.
It's like when you heat iron.
Yeah.
When it gets all red hot. Well,
not just that, but it's because it's not just first the door heats up, but then slowly
the whole cell,
the whole room, and it's you see his shoes start to melt, and
he's it's all goopy because he's melting to the floor, And he's like trying desperately to get out because like everything's on fire, and he's like, well, not even on fire, but like it's so hot in there.
And you see the guards, like one of the guards trying to like get like a fire hose, and it's like the fire hose is like has a giant slit through it.
When he's like, because it's a defunct like penitentiary, so
it's just like little details that show you like that they just didn't give a shit at all.
They just threw everyone in there at like just random.
Yeah.
And so the guy, so for some reason, I can't remember why Burke was there, but like
I think it's because they were close by.
So he runs down and he's trying to like open the door because he can like pick locks because he's like a key.
Well, first so they come in there, and also the prison psychologist is there too, and you see the first guy get like burned, and you see them burn like a fucking puppet head.
Yeah.
And then
his door blasts out and he's like barbecued on the door.
And it's him, and then the other guy's like screaming for help.
So yeah, Burke like goes and like picks the lock and opens the door and saves the guy.
Yeah.
And now he's known as like the big hero, right? But the warden like makes sure he knows like that's like, not gonna
help you.
Nothing's gonna help you. Like, you know, you're in here for a reason, and like, you know, stop making trouble, basically.
Yeah, he just basically tells him like, I don't care. Like,
yeah,
you're trapped. And the prison psychologist, she writes a report about everything that she saw.
Yeah, and she's leaving the prison, and the warden stops her
and is like, "Hey, I think it's customary for me to look at this before you hand it over to the governor."
Yeah, and she's like, "What the fuck? Like, I haven't. Like, I'll give you a copy." And
like him and the guard basically strong arm her.
So. Yeah, and they take the report, so like no one knows that like a prisoner died on his watch.
Yes,
basically
got roasted alive.
Yeah. And so, you know, she drives away, and then the next day,
they're all walking around. Everyone's like, you know, he's talking to his friend, and
well, and they go up to the guy that he saved, and the guy he saved is like, because this is also where like the burly guy like offers him a job, and
he steals his football.
And then Burke grabs his nuts and is like
crushing them.
He's crushing them, and he's like, "Listen, I'm not here for anyone, and I'm not going to work for you. Now, give me my ball back, and I'll give you yours back."
And then everyone talks to him, and the guy he helped is like, "That's it."
He's like, "I'm getting out of here," because like he saw you know what? I don't blame this guy. He saw some fucked up shit.
Well, I mean, he's the guy who, in the beginning, he was.
You already want to get out of prison, but I would want to get out even more after seeing that shit. Holy fuck, dude! I would not even care.
And he's just telling them like, "Hey, like you guys." He's like telling Burke like, "You're in your friend, maybe, but you're like you can come along with me." And he just tells them like, "Good luck."
He's like, "I'm not even gonna try that."
So it's that night. They're all going back, and it's about to be like lockdown. Power goes out. And in the middle of the confusion, this guy, he like sneaks away.
Yep, he starts like climbing up this.
His cellmate is the
spiritual,
and he tells him like, "Listen, like you're crazy.
Just let him sleep. He's been through a lot, basically."
He basically covers for him.
Yeah,
because one of the guards is walking around like shit talking, and this guy also ends up getting it. In a great scene later.
And so he climbs up these like grates and everything, and he's like crawling through this like crawl space, and you just see like just at a certain point you see as he's crawling just pipes going like crisscross everywhere, like pipes that should not be there,
just coming.
I can't remember. Sorry, this is like a total tangent that I just thought about for some reason. I can't remember what SCP it is, but there is an SCP that has like an endless like supply of pipes that just appear out of nowhere, and it can create like any sort of pipes.
I mean, this scene is definitely
SCP-esque. It reminded me of that because there's just pipes like appearing out of nowhere and just going like everywhere where they shouldn't be.
Because right before all the pipes show up, it does the same thing where it's like the light comes through the floor and like is like rushing towards him, and all the pipes start coming out, and he's like, it's basically like making it so that he has to crawl. And he starts crawling,
and like the pipes like start like constricting his movement, like and
they wrap around his legs.
Yeah, like pipes wrap around his hands, and then you see a pipe go like to his forehead, right?
Just start digging into his forehead,
and he starts screaming, and then it just echoes through the prison, and it has like an outer view of the prison, and then it cuts to them eating the next day at breakfast.
They're eating, and everyone's like, "Oh, I guess
I guess he made it out, and he's like,
One of the guys, can you say that a little louder?
I don't think the warden heard you.
And then his cellmate is like, I don't think he made it.
He's like, I would have felt it if he made it out. And,
but the whole time they're talking,
you see blood slowly start to drip down from the ceiling,
like light bulb,
and the light bulb like slowly starts filling up with blood. And then at a certain point, they all look up, and they all like you see them slow mo like back out.
The light bulb explodes.
The entire ceiling just explodes down with this fucking corpse like covered in pipes.
Looks like
it's like literally his body is like torn to shreds with pipes.
You know what it looked like? Have you ever seen Tetsuo the Iron Man?
Yeah,
that's
it looked like that. Like, but just insane amount of like blood and gore just like falling onto the table. It looks so cool. It looks so fucking cool because there's all these pipes like going every which way, and it's obviously like a dummy.
Yeah.
But they like shoved pipes through its like jaw and its fucking forehead.
Well, plus
and, like,
the shot of them all backing up as you see this contraption like.
Well, like at first, like you don't even know what to like think of it because it's like this like just mangled corpse of fucking pipes and flesh and blood, just like
it's like incredible
plowing down onto the fucking table.
But of course, after that happens, the warden's like, okay, I know one of you did this.
One of you did it. I don't. If I saw that body, I'd be like, there is no fucking way.
Yeah.
A single person did this. Mm-hmm. But he makes it a point to, he wants to find out who killed all of them. So he wrangles all of them up.
They toss all the cells.
They toss all the cells and they take all the mattresses out and burn them all as like a punishment. And then they make them strip all down to their underwear
and stand out there
somebody all night all night and all day until someone
basically
admits
as long
it.
as someone admits it.
But no one's admitting it yet. And then the old guy kind of collapses at a certain point, and we get one of the bad guards. I mean, they're all bad, but
he has that look.
Yeah. You know,
some actors that you can just tell they're like,
they're like, we're gonna make this one the racist one. That you just know if you have a certain look, they're like, okay, so in this scene you're going to be the racist guard.
You're gonna get yours in the scene after, but we need a reason for the audience to really want you to
so you're gonna die. Sorry about that, but we really want the audience to hate you. Okay. So
they didn't already. They will now.
There's your motivation. Just be a piece of shit.
Because the guy, he has glasses, so when he falls down, he drops them.
When he kicks the guard kicks the glasses over and then steps on the guy's hand.
And he's like, "What's the problem? Can you get up?" And he's like, "Yeah, if you step off, if you let go of my hand." And he presses harder on the guy's hand, and Burke gets up and shoves the guard, and the guard like cocks his shotgun at him. Another guard runs over. He's like, "What's going on?" And he says, "Oh, this N-word."
Yeah, he literally hard R.
Yeah,
just drops the hard R.
This N-word is causing trouble.
And he's like, "Okay, well, listen, it's been a long night. Go take a break, get some coffee."
And the next scene is him pouring like fucking whiskey.
Of course, because he's a piece of shit, and he's drinking in the early hours of the morning.
Yeah, he's in it's like a workshop. There's a bunch of barbed wire.
Yeah.
And he sits down.
Well, okay, so I love this workshop because there are so many murder,
and they tease them.
There's so much to murder a guy with on display in this decrepit, defunct workshop that you're just like, how the fuck is this guy gonna die? Because he's gonna die. You know the setup, you know what's going on, and you're like, how the fuck are they gonna kill this guy? Let's see how they do it. And so he's just sitting there, and he gets a titty mag, and he starts going through it. He's fucking sipping his whiskey and coffee, and all of a sudden, behind him, a fucking
it's like a pickaxe.
Yeah, a pickaxe flies at him, and he dodges it, right?
No, it's they shoot the shotgun at him.
Oh, that's right, because the barbed wire slowly starts going all around him,
just maneuvering around.
But it doesn't wrap around him yet.
Not yet. But
and it wraps around the shotgun and like
picks it up,
lifts it up, and like points it at him, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And then he ducks away, and it shoots a hole, and that blue light starts like shining through. That blue light of death.
The blue light of death.
It's not like the red ring of death. It's the blue light of death.
It's the old window screen.
Yep.
And he gets up, and immediately the barbed wire starts wrapping around his
when
legs.
it plants him back into the seat and wraps around his ankles, wraps around his fucking wrists, around his throat, around his face, around his torso.
And it's just completely wrapped around him, and he's bleeding and screaming. The other guard walks in, just looks at this.
It's just like,
what the fuck?
I would shit myself. Yeah. I would literally not know how to comprehend anything going on right now.
My favorite thing, though.
This is the best fucking part.
This is so satisfying and hilarious. The fact that they did this is incredible.
Because the warden is just working on shit.
Because he went to take a nap or something. He's gonna relax.
Of course he's taking a nap. Like, God, that's all he fucking does in this movie. Fucking take naps, be an absolute fucking asshole, and disrespect women.
And he goes and he's like chilling in his office, and the fucking barbed wire, you see it like wrapping around these pipes that are right above him.
And I love it because like as the other guard is watching this, the chair lifts off the ground.
Like, you know those amusement park rides?
Well, I love how like it's like midair, right? Yeah. When the guy's looking at it, and then like the amusement park rides, you know, where were you gonna describe the ones where they like drop you and then raise you up?
Where they where you're like they start you at the bottom and then they like slingshot you upward.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
So as this guard's watching, this chair rocket launches into the fucking warden's office.
And just plants.
And it's just the fucking like barbed wire mangled corpse of this guard just staring right at the fucking warden.
And the other guard walks in to like tell him what's happening, and the warden is just like, "It's real.
It's real. It's real."
And the corpse of the guard has the cross.
Yes.
Again.
So yeah, there's no more denying it. It's this isn't a prisoner doing this.
And then he says, "Okay, we are going on full lockdown."
Yes.
Everyone is in their cells. Like, they're going to be basically handcuffed in there.
So we see a scene of them like strong-arming the prisoners. They shoot like tear gas.
They have like a mini riot.
Yeah.
They strong-arm the prisoners. The prison psychologist, there's a scene of her.
Well, she goes to like a hotel.
Yeah, first there's a scene of her calling like a superior and telling him like this is dangerous, and they just deny her basically. And then there's another scene where she's hanging out, and it shows her little like desk clock.
Yeah.
The time just shifts
to 1964. 1964.
And starts playing an oldie, and then she's like,
well, and then it like it shows the TV, and it's like an ad for a car that was made in 1964. And then on her
computer,
it just says
flashing
1960. I love this little I love little details, right? Like we always talk about those. I love how she's looking at the computer, and like you just see her rifling around, and then she just picks up the power cord, and it's like completely unplugged, but it still like shows 1964 on the screen.
It prints off a paper. It just says 1964 all over it. So there's a scene where she goes to a
the
newspaper.
It's like the record office of like the newspaper,
the local newspaper there.
And she finds an article where a prisoner was executed, and there was like a conspiracy.
Well, you see the prisoner who was executed, and then it's the witness.
Yeah. Because
basically what it is there's a prison murder, and this guy who was executed murdered the other prisoner.
He murdered the prisoner and was sentenced to death for it.
And she sees the picture, and he looks almost extremely
identical
to Viggo Mortensen.
And
the witness
is the old black guy.
Yeah.
And the warden, of course, is like next to him.
Oh, before all this, we forgot. There's a scene where that old man steals a gun from a guard and starts threatening all of them.
Yeah.
And basically saying like, I am not staying. We are dead.
He's like, I'm not going to be here anymore. And he shoots his foot so he can go to the infirmary.
Because he's basically saying like, we are dead.
Yeah.
He keeps mentioning like Charlie's back.
Yep. So prison riot happens. That like hotel scene happens.
They're all handcuffed in their cells,
and the lights in the cells like go out.
All the power goes out.
And so our spiritual guy is like, I'm gonna contact.
We have a. I don't know. I really like the way they film this, where
because he's talking to
the guy who
Burke's
likes Rambo.
Burke's friend, the Rambo guy, through mirrors.
Yeah.
So they can see each other. And I love how they film it because it's like you just get like a side of like their faces
with their hand holding out the mirror.
But they're talking, and he's like, I'm gonna summon this
I'm gonna go through like my religion, and I'm gonna summon this thing.
I'm gonna try and talk to him and see what he wants, basically, and I'm gonna try and make this end.
And then he's like, the guy is saying, listen, I
don't think we should
there's no ghosts here. It's just people.
Yeah. This is like some fucked up shit's going on. Let's just try and get Burke out of that situation. Because they take Burke to solitary confinement after his like insubordination.
Yes.
And they like strip him down and throw him in there.
And while he's in there, he starts
making a key. Because he's like, he's in there because he stole cars. And he like thinks everything is like pickable. They
basically make that comment and details early in the movie about how like he can steal anything.
He's like a legend.
He can make a lock, make a key out of anything.
Yeah.
So he picks like the little like air conditioning vent apart.
Yes. And so he so they're talking, and then we get this oh my god, this fucking scene. It's so fucking crazy.
This is so metal.
So they're all like fucking handcuffed to their beds, right? And this guy, the spiritual guy, starts like, he opens his like thing and like lights a candle and starts like trying to summon this fucking demon.
Like, speak to me, demon of hatred.
When he like starts, he like cuts his chest and he starts doing like all these rituals, like tears off his necklaces and stuff. And then, as he's doing that, electricity starts going through the entire fucking like prison, and it melts their handcuffs off of their beds, and they're all like wondering what the fuck is going on. And the spiritual guy gets slammed up against this fucking up against his cell.
Like the blue light like explode through his wall.
Yeah, and it goes onto his chest where he cut a circle,
and it starts pressing,
and it starts like decompressing and compressing, and it just fucking like inflates and deflates like rapidly. And he's like screaming, and he's pinned up against this wall, and like guards like wondering what the fuck is going on as there's like electricity going everywhere. And then this dude, the spiritual dude's fucking chest just gets like caved in and like blasted out of the fucking like cell.
See the blue light coming out through his body,
and it kills the other guard.
Well, you see a scene of the other guard trying to run away,
and he gets electrocutes.
Thrown off.
Electrocutes one of them, and electrocutes the other guy, and it opens all the cells. It blows open all the cells.
In the meantime, when Burke gets out of his cell, he you see him breaking into the office of the prison, like psychologist, and there's a computer that turns on, and it starts beaming blue. He just stares at it, and it fucking explodes. And at the same time,
hers at the fucking hotel explodes as well.
And she looks around and she sees a little piece of paper, and it just says, repeated like a billion times, like,
the prison dies tonight.
Prison dies tonight.
The prison dies tonight. Prison dies tonight. Prison dies tonight.
Oh shit.
So she like gets in her car and like starts heading back to the prison, all while Burke finds his friends, and they're gonna.
I also want to mention the prison doors, they did not just open;
they blew open. I did mention that, but they actually like literally blow off the hinges.
They blow outward off the hinges.
Yeah,
because if they're open normally, that would be too lame.
And we also get a scene of the old guy laying in the infirmary, and the warden walks in, and he thinks it's
Charles Forsyth.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, Charles, I knew you'd be back. I'm sorry that I ratted you out."
And then the warden's like, "Charles is dead." Like,
and he's like, "No, he's back because we're gonna pay because you killed a prisoner and you made me blame him."
And you stole my life away from me.
Yeah, and he's like, "Why do you think he's had it so?" Because that's the twist, right?
Yeah.
The witness was him.
Yeah.
but he ratted him out.
And they basically
the warden executed a prisoner,
an innocent,
and then an innocent man got like executed. So he's like, "How do you think you had it easy for so long? Like you've been in here for like 40 years, and I've made it super easy on you.
Yeah, like I've only put you in the nicest prisons.
Yeah,
because of
wow,
me. I know.
What a consolation! Wow,
you'll never
I put you in the nicest prisons.
You'll never be free.
You'll never be free, but I put you in the nicest prisons possible. Okay, listen, it's a quid pro quo. Okay.
And then he goes over to him, and where he shot his foot, he starts like squeezing it.
Yeah.
To make him bleed, and basically starts torturing him.
And then does Burke come in at that point? And...
Yeah, he comes in and starts strangling him, and he frees his friend.
So basically, what they're going to do is use the warden as a human shield to get out of the prison.
Meanwhile, all the prisoners are out, and they're trying to break down the door to leave.
So they get out into the...
don't forget, there's one of the guards is still alive.
Yes.
He points a shotgun at all of them. And one of them is like telling him, like, hey, listen, like, no one has to get hurt, just put the gun down. And he shoots him. And the dude gets like a massive...
He goes like berserker mode. It literally seems like he just gets rage mode.
Yeah, he goes full adrenaline.
And he fucking like pounds his chest and picks this guy up and fucking tosses him against the pole.
Throws him so hard that he kills him.
And then
he dies.
Yeah.
Because he got a shotgun to the fucking chest.
So they grab the shotgun and they blast the lock out, and they go out into the yard. And you see, before they get to the yard, electricity all around this Gatling gun. And it loads the Gatling gun, like a ghost, like, loads the Gatling gun and, like, it takes aim, right? So they get out into the yard. It's the one leading the pack is the friend and the
burly guy.
The burly, like, controlling guy. And so they get out in the yard, and this thing just starts firing at them. So they, like, run back. But before they can, the burly guy and the friend get kind of trapped because they get behind... The other prisoners get behind the door first. And it just absolutely fucking annihilates the friend. Just squibs fucking flying everywhere. Just blood fucking everywhere.
Whatever, yeah. As the burly guy's running back... It's when his cellmate that he was basically abusing for the whole movie, he sees him running back and he closes the door on him.
Yeah, and he like puts the board up, and one of the prisoners is like, "You gotta open the door, he'll die." And he's like, "Fuck him." And and then of course a pickaxe, because the Gatling gun is spent, so a pickaxe like floats up and swings into the guy and pins him to the door. And so Burke and the older guy are going through like the hallways, and they get
confronted by one of the guards,
the main guard.
Yeah,
and he's pointing a gun at him, and the warden's like, "Just shoot him, just shoot him."
And then his cellmate has a gun, and he shoots the guard.
And then the guard like final stand like gets up a little bit and shoots the friend,
but he's still alive. They start walking away, and then at this time, the prison psychologist shows up.
Yes.
She drives in, and immediately a Gatling gun starts raining hell on her.
And she's like, starts driving around, and then it runs out of bullets again. So she sees Burke, the old guy, and the warden coming out.
And they basically like do a quick rundown of what's happening.
Well, and like the warden tries to convince her that they're having a prison riot, and then
they're just like,
they're trying to escape.
Who are you gonna believe?
And she's like, "Okay, come on, like let's go."
Fuck this.
Yeah. Fuck the warden. Fuck you. Get in the car. Let's go.
And they start driving, and of course, the fucking thing locks the...
Well, it's this movie, and they love blowing shit up, so they blow the guard tower up.
Yes.
And that closes the iron gate. But like a little like rope of barbed wire comes down.
Well, yeah, after it explodes, it like swings around, and...
Yeah.
And of course, you're just thinking...
Well...
And because he's strong and not dying of his injuries, Burke gets out and he starts climbing the rope of barbed wire.
Yep. So he goes up to the tower, And like,
He also gets shot in the leg.
yeah,
mind you.
by the Gatling gun.
Yes, so it's just endless.
And like his hands are getting like torn to shreds by the barbed wire because it shows like chunks of flesh coming off, and it's like really supposed to be like, of course, really painful getting up there.
Well, I love when he gets up there, and when he grabs.
Yeah, he screams in agony.
Screams in agony as he's turning.
As he's turning the fucking wheel, and then he like gets back down. So they drive through, and he gets back down. And the psychologist goes to check on Burke, and while the old man is pointing the gun at the warden.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, the warden notices that the old man isn't blinking.
He's not. He's just sitting there still.
So he slowly reaches for the gun and takes it, and the old man like keels over dead.
He died.
So he like the warden gets on top of gets his like arms on top of the car, and he's like just starts like firing at them as they roll across the ground. And then he
runs out of bullets.
Oh my god.
Gets in the car.
Okay.
Starts driving.
I just have to catch my breath for this fucking...
Because it's incredible.
This ending is so goddamn metal. It's insane.
Because it's what we wanted.
It's what the audience wants, and it gives you everything.
Yes. So
he starts driving away, right? But Forsyth ain't gonna like let that happen.
You get like 5 seconds.
Well, because there's lightning everywhere, and he's like, you think you don't think he's gonna get away, but for like a split second, he's getting away, right?
Yeah.
And then lightning strikes the ground, and like the ground starts raising, and then you see this fucking executioner chair come up
with a zombie,
with a corpse in it.
Yeah.
With a fucking dead, like electrocuted corpse in it,
and just sitting there,
and
immediately the corpse gets up and starts doing like a fucking wizard,
like a wizard thing, like a Palpatine, like a fucking Palpatine, like force lightning shit. Lightning's coming out of his goddamn eyes, his hands, his body is like protruding electricity, and it blows the car sky high.
Even before it blows the car up fully, you see like the fucking bumper explodes off, all the headlights explode,
and then it's just this huge explosion. And then, of course, there's like this beautiful sunrise, like the scene after.
Yeah.
And then
then it zooms in, and you see the little cross hanging there.
Yeah.
End film.
End movie. I like how they didn't go for like a romance between, Burke and the psychologist. They didn't really do any of that. And that was like one of the coolest endings to like a electricity villain movie I've ever seen.
That was insane.
It looked like a goddamn like an Iron Maiden, Scorpions kind of fucking...
It looked like or something from like Mortal Kombat or something.
Yeah, it was like fucking Raiden going full rage mode.
Because, there's a lot of...
It was fucking awesome.
There's a lot of ways to end a movie. But, having your fucking ghost literally rise from the grave and electrocute your dickhead bad guy and blow them sky high...
I want to make, again, I'm into this. I want to make a t-shirt of that. I want to make a t-shirt of the lightning dude.
It's
so cool. It's so awesome. I love it.
It's just really satisfying.
It really is.
This is a good movie. This is a really good movie.
I actually really liked this. It was really good. I've never heard of it in my life before. And I'm sad about that because it is legitimately good. Like the camera work is good. The acting's really good. The script is good. The kills are awesome.
Yeah, I like it.
There's not like a ton of kills in it, but when there is, like it's brutal. Like they are brutal, and it's great to see that.
And I love seeing a different type of ghost story.
Well, I love like simple like plot for like the biggest payoff.
Yeah.
Like it like pays it off so well, and like all the death scenes in the final scene is incredible. It's so good. It's so well done,
and I love
the effects are so good. The
effects are great.
I love the effects, like the guy burning in the cell, like it's like clearly an animatronic, but like his like skin's melting off of it and shit.
And it's just getting lit up completely.
The guy like covered in pipes, like falling through the ceiling. The guy in barbed wire getting blasted through the ceiling.
I was cackling.
Yeah.
cackling because that was just the biggest like fuck you.
It really was.
Like they did not need to do that.
Oh, they did.
And they did. And I don't know. It's just I love that the ghost is almost like this amoral like force of destruction.
Well, because he kills prisoners too. It's not like it's
just completely random.
It's like aimless almost. Yeah. Just aimless death. He's just singling people out and killing them.
Yeah.
And I also like how they didn't really show like a ghost form. It's just like lightning and like shit happening.
Like camera angles, and the only ghost form you see it for like 10 seconds at the end, and it's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's a great payoff because I think if they lingered on it too long, it would have started to look stupid. But they show it for so little that it's so effective.
Well, it also adds to the payoff.
Yeah.
Of like what's gonna happen, and then at the end, it's like no, we literally have full like makeup.
Yeah.
Dude in a fucking like makeup and everything.
That would have been, I mean, I need to look into it. I don't know if Vigo was the one they put in full makeup. I doubt it, but...
No, I saw it, actually. Fun fact for you. It says in the credits, Kane Hodder.
Okay.
Who, he played Jason.
Oh, that's right, yeah, okay, yeah. Because he looks really burly.
He's very big. I mean, this is made around the same time as those.
Yeah.
Also, another fun fact, but connection to a different franchise. The director of this went on to do Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Okay.
And I 100% know for a fact that they watched this and decided to hire him for that because of this. It's so...
Oh, guaranteed. If you've seen Nightmare on Elm Street 4, you know.
They 100% were like, okay.
100%.
There we go.
They're like, hey, we'll give you a bigger budget.
Yeah.
And we will give you Freddy.
Here you go. Here's your big slasher.
Yes. It's a really, really good movie. I would really highly recommend this one. It's just fun. I don't know. It's just a ghost story. It's simple plot, but good payoff.
Especially if you want to watch a ghost story that's a bit more, R-rated and just unhinged.
The deaths are incredibly unhinged.
Yeah.
Like they did not need to go that hard, and they did.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible. It's great, and we're getting into spooky season, so I'm even more excited. Like
pumpkins.
Shoot me if you want, but I will say like September is the start of spooky season. I don't care. I don't care what you say.
The heat is finally going away. The sun's setting sooner. It's beautiful. I hate summer. I don't care. I'm not a kid anymore.
I like doing shit in summer, but I hate the heat.
That's the thing. It's so hot usually that I'm just not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Unless you're a kid, because when you're a kid, summer's the best.
Oh, I mean,
but we're adults and I have to fucking work now, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another day, right?
There's no big holidays in summer.
It's just another day, and it's fucking hot. Like
the fall, the leaves changing. I had a pumpkin spice latte today.
I have also partaken in a pumpkin spice latte. If you want a real experience, this is not the podcast for this. If you want a real experience, get. Should I reveal my secret? This is what I get every time because I'm a basic white bitch. You get a pumpkin. You get a chai latte with like whatever pumps of pumpkin you want in it with. Pumpkin cold foam.
Well, that makes sense because chai is delicious.
Yes. So get a pumpkin spice chai latte with pumpkin pie.
You get spice and spice.
Cold foam. With the cold, you have to do it with the cold foam, and it's incredible. Man.
The cold foam's the way to go.
It is.
I get it.
I just revealed my drink order. The entire time fall is here. So.
Oh, listen, I any place I can.
I will never not get that.
The thing that I always look for when September rolls around is I'm like, okay, all these little local places, I want to see which ones are doing special fall items, and I gotta get them.
You got them.
Every time.
Okay, tangent over. Let's do shitty to pretty. Let's get into it.
Listen, I don't give a shit. It's a 10 for me.
It's a 10. There's been so many 10s in 1987. It's insane. It's fucking mental. Like, I cannot believe how many good movies there are in this year. We are eating well.
Yeah. Well, this is one of those movies. It's like, it's like Retribution, where you just watch it and you're like, this is a really good movie. Like, this is just a damn good movie.
Yeah, like I'm literally adding it to my list of like what to watch during spooky season again. It's so good.
It's like you said, acting, directing, writing, good.
It just has it all. It's like, I mean, honestly, the deaths are a highlight in this movie because like the deaths are so brutal, and when they happen, they're so like visceral and so just raw and like just awesome.
And it's creative because there's no like, person to do this stuff, so they have to be like creative. Like, okay, let's have pipes that randomly come out of the wall.
It did. I don't know if it's gonna be on the podcast, but it did remind me of that one that slasher movie where the guy gets executed and like starts like becoming electricity.
Shocker.
That's it. Yeah. Shocker. I remember I liked Shocker a lot. So.
Well, here's a fun fact. I know there's a movie in '88 that also has a prisoner who got executed. And there is also Shocker, which came out in '89.
Yeah.
I know Shocker leans a lot into like sci-fi because there's a scene in Shocker, and again, this is a tangent, but I always remember this because when I saw Shocker, I thought this was the coolest shit ever. There's a scene in Shocker with the main character and the bad guy, because they're like electricity. He gets turned into electricity.
Yeah.
And they start going through the TV channels.
Yep. I remember that.
And they start fighting through the TV. So like a channel changes and it's like an atom bomb exploding, and it's like they're fighting. I remember watching
It's incredible.
Like,
it's so good. If you haven't seen Shocker, we will get to it, but please watch Shocker. It's so good. It's a little more ridiculous than this one.
It's so extra.
But I love Shocker. I love Shocker.
I miss that kind of like, we don't give a fuck, we're gonna do it creativity.
Exactly. But that's really all I have to say. It's a good movie. It's a 10 out of 10. I agree with you. Like, that. Just go watch Prison.
Watch it.
It's great. I think that's it.
That's it.
For They Mostly Come Out at Night, this has been Will.
This has been Alex.
And we will talk to you all later.
Bye.
Bye. You go ahead and get another pumpkin spice latte.
Pumpkin spice dies tonight.
Yes.
You feel me?
Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight.
This is not the movie, Will.
Oh, sorry. Prison dies tonight. Prison.